So if you want to buy a VR headset, then do you get the $299 Meta Quest 3S or spend the extra $200 and get the Meta Quest 3? And what do you actually get for the extra $200? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Let's get into it. So whilst there are some differences between the two, and there has to be in order for the Quest 3 to justify the extra $200, there's actually a lot of similarities as well. So both of these headsets come with the same Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 processor, so they've got the same processing power. It's actually double the processing power of the older Quest 2. They've also got 8GB of RAM compared to 6GB on the older Quest 2, and both these headsets also now have the ringless controllers that you can see here. They've also both got full color pass-through cameras for mixed reality gaming. So what that means is that on both of these headsets, you can play full color pass-through mixed reality gaming like Home Invasion. That is an absolute laugh. You've also got Quest 3 enhanced games like Asgard's Wrath 2 or Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, where you'll get better, more detailed graphics compared to if you were playing those games on the older Quest 2. And you also get access to Quest 3 exclusive games on both these headsets. So games like Batman Arkham Shadow will run on both of these. And actually, talking of exclusive games, that Batman Arkham Shadow is actually free with either of these headsets if you buy them before the end of April 2025. So the Quest 3S and the Quest 3 can play all the same games, and that is awesome, but the Quest 3 has to be doing something to justify the extra $200, right? Well, it does. So to start with, the 3S isn't as slim as the Quest 3. There's around a 20% difference. They are both about the same weight though, around 514 grams. However, because the Quest 3 is slimmer, that weight is closer to your face, so you notice that weight less when you're actually wearing it. The biggest difference though is that the Quest 3 has a better screen and better lenses than the Quest 3S. So the screen inside the Quest 3 is 30% higher resolution than the 3S, and also ditches the Fresnel lenses which are in the 3S and replaces them with pancake lenses. So the pancake lenses on the Quest 3, well, they're thinner, hence the headset can be thinner, but they also don't suffer from the same God rays that the older Fresnel lenses do on the Quest 3S. They also have a larger sweet spot, so that ideal place where everything's clear, it's smaller on the Fresnel lenses. So the pancake lenses are a definite upgrade. The Quest 3 also has a larger field of view, so it's 110 degrees on the Quest 3 compared to 97 on the 3S. Now, what was surprising for me is that in the real world, despite the 3S having what looks like on paper a far inferior screen and lenses of the Quest 3, is that it was still better than the Quest 2 despite it having the same lenses and the same screen. Now this is largely thanks to the processing power that's in here, again, same processor as the Quest 3. So it can actually generate a more detailed image on the 3S, so you're looking through poorer eyesight at a more detailed picture, if that kind of makes sense. So yes, the Quest 3S from a visual standpoint is an upgrade from the older Quest 2, albeit a minor one. However, it can't match the Quest 3 for visual clarity because that high resolution screen and the pancake lenses just give you that clearer, more detailed image. Now, whilst that's lots of wins for the Quest 3, there are actually some things that the Quest 3S does better. For a start, it has a smaller battery, which I know sounds like it's a bad thing, but because you're running a lower resolution screen on the 3S, that smaller battery actually lasts for longer than the Quest 3. So you'll get around 25% more battery power on the 3S compared to the Quest 3 in like-for-like testing. The Quest 3S also comes with IR illuminators or IR blasters. So this means that if you play in a dimly lit room, then you'll actually find the 3S performs better than the Quest 3. I also noted that the full color pass-through image on the 3S was slightly clearer than the Quest 3, again in a more dimly lit room. There is, however, something that is missing from the Quest 3S that the Quest 3 has, other than everything we've talked about, because Meta have removed the 3.5mm audio jack from the 3S. It isn't there compared to the Quest 3 where it is. So that might be a deal breaker for you. You can still use headphones with these if you want. You'll just have to get a 3.5mm audio jack to USB-C converter and plug it into the USB-C port on the left-hand side. Might be a deal breaker for you, might not. Now you can get plenty of accessories for both of these headsets, and there's definitely a couple of things that I'd recommend upgrading on both of these. So both of these have these elasticated head straps that you get out of the box, and it's okay to start with, but it doesn't give you much sort of support on your headset. So I'd recommend replacing those pretty much as soon as you can. The other one is the facial interface. On both of these, they're fairly much the same. Minor difference is that the Quest 3 has an adjustable facial interface, so you can change the depth, as in how far the headset is away from your face. Great if you wear glasses or you want a little bit more distance. I do, however, find that they're quite narrow on my face, so they tend to press on the inside of my temples, and I also don't like the cloth because it tends to absorb sweat, so I tend to replace these pretty much as soon as I can. I've tried various facial interfaces from various brands. Actually, one on the 3S that worked quite well was the Meta 3S breathable facial interface. So it does let in a ton of light, which might not be ideal, but it's incredibly breathable, so great for activity games and stuff like that. The headsets or the head straps, I sort of fluctuate between. There's lots of options out there. There are Halo head straps and there's Elite style head straps, so just go and watch some videos, see which one is going to suit you best. So the Quest 3S is the Quest 3, just with poorer eyesight. And with prices starting at $299, that makes this the ideal headset if you're looking to get into VR for the first time. However, the Quest 3 is sleeker. It's got a better screen, it's got better lenses, and it actually has 4 times the storage of the base model of the Quest 3S. 512 gig compared to 128. So all that for $499. Plus, until the end of April 2025, regardless which one you buy, you will get Batman Arkham Shadow for free. Plus, at the moment, if you buy direct from Meta for a limited time, whichever one you get, you'll get $60 of Quest cash, which you can spend in the Quest store on whatever you want. So I will put links to these in the description down below so that you can go check them out for yourself. If you want to check out some accessories to go with either of these, be sure to check out the link up here. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.